All right, y'all. Welcome back here to another episode of the Easy Money Sports Podcast. Of course, me myself is always here. Sanders, got my boy Dupree
Yup,
here with me.
yup. What's going on? What's going on with it?
Man, man, can't complain, bro. Just living another day. Really, just going, just taking it one day at a
hmm
time, man. That's all I can really do. Um, Hope y'all been enjoying these NBA finals. I mean, it's looking like it's about to. It's looking like it's about to come to ends here soon, but
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to see, but still a lot of game left to be played, but we don't know. But man, if you missed it, Friday night was Game 4. Miami was trying to tie the series up at 2. Denver was trying to take the 3-1 lead, and of course, if you don't know by now, you should know. Uh, Denver Nuggets come out on top, 108-95, get a huge 3-1 lead to take it back to Denver for, I believe, is it Sunday night? Yeah, it'll be Sunday
I
for
think
Game 5.
I think
So
it's Monday.
is this
Yeah.
Monday? It might be. It is
It's
Monday.
on
Yeah, so
Monday.
Monday for Game 5. So man, uh, a couple days to get re-energized,
hmm
refocused for both sides to get ready here for, pretty much a do or die game here for the Miami Heat. But before we get into the Game 5 talk, just kind of look back into Game 4. And I mean, obviously, the biggest thing about it is the fact that Denver finds a way to get this done. Where, I mean, if you look at the numbers, Jokic is still having a good stat line, a
hmm
good game there. 23 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. But he had the foul trouble. He had 5 fouls. Had a period of time where he had to, sit on the bench, to keep himself from, getting into so much foul
hmm
trouble. And a rare thing happened. Denver actually pulls it out because their only real kryptonite this whole season has been when Jokic ends up going on the bench, and they just aren't the same team. With them on the floor than they are without the floor. But Denver finds a way to get it done, and it wasn't even with Jamal Murray either. I mean, he had a decent game, but it wasn't a huge stat line for him. It was the big role
hmm
players that we always mentioned and talked about. Aaron Gordon with a career high, playoff high, 27 points. Bruce Brown had 21 points off the bench. He had a huge fourth quarter. Um, I mean, KCP with timely defensive stops and 3-pointers made. Just an all in all, overall, just great effort from the
Yep.
others for the Denver Nuggets, man. Man, we look at the Game 4 play and everything that happened and what went down, man. What really made the difference for Denver to take this 3-1 lead?
So I wasn't able to watch the full game live. We had a prospect camp last night. So by the time I was able to get home, it was late third quarter when I got back. But watching the highlights, I will tell you the one thing: you Aaron Gordon having 27 points is not good. It's not a good recipe for the Heat to win this basketball game. And I remember it at some point late in the broadcast, them mentioning Aaron Gordon had the 27 points, and then going back and watching it, we've been talking about it all series. Jokic is gonna do his thing, trying to figure out how to contain Jamal Murray, getting the ball out of his hands, whatever it is. But and he only had 15. Jamal Murray only had 15 last night. But Aaron Gordon having 27 points, I'm not even like Bruce Brown having 21. Okay, all right, he can erupt for stuff like that. Aaron Gordon, to me, was the key to that game last night because he had the 27, hit a couple threes, alley oop dunks, layups, things like that. But then he was making key passes, key assists, key plays on the defensive end of the floor. When Jamal Murray has 15 points and Jokic has 23, you should win that basketball game. Like, you got to win that game. You have to find a way to win that game. And the fact that they didn't, the fact that Aaron Gordon erupted, Bruce Brown erupted, that's a gut punch. There was I believe in the fourth quarter, it was like 8 minutes and 31 seconds left. It was a 5 point game. It was a 5 point basketball game, and you got a Aaron Gordon hit a three, KCP hit a three. The Nuggets. That's around the period where Jokic was sitting down. KCP hit a three, Aaron Gordon hit a three. They kept running the same play with the backdoor screen handoff to Jamal Murray. He hit a couple of threes on that as well. They When the Heat got close, the barrage of shots came, and then I believe the dagger was the and one shot by Bruce Brown, where he kind of just threw the ball up and ended up hitting the shot, a little mid range floater. Um, but that was a gut punch. That was a gut punch for the Heat last night. You like I said, Jamal Murray being off the way he was, Jokic being in foul trouble, having the five fouls, so him really not being able to play like that was a mix and a recipe for the Heat to win that game last night, and they couldn't figure it out, couldn't get it done. So that's a tough pill to swallow, especially Jimmy Butler and Bam didn't. They played pretty well. Both of them had 20 points. I mean, Bam had Bam had 20 and Jimmy Butler had 25. So they played decently well. He had some other guys hit a couple shots. Max Strus kind of went back down in the dumps again. Was 0 for 4, 0 for 3 from 3 point range. Um, that's been hurting them. Their 3 point shooting this series hasn't been what it has been throughout these playoffs. But Jokic having 23, Murray having 15, and not being able to get a dub, not being able to. I don't want to maybe draw that six foul to get Jokic fouled out. But like I said, he sat down in that fourth quarter for about a 5 minute period, and the Nuggets. There was a 10 point lead when Jokic sat down. When he entered back into the game, the lead was 9. So they held their own and did their thing, and a huge part of that goes to Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what we talked about when we did, the previews of the finals. Man, I mean, it's games like this where you need those
Mm-hmm.
others to just step up and take a game. Because now, with that happening, um, is it necessary? Are you going to see another 27-point game from Aaron Gordon the rest of the
No.
series if it continues? I mean, probably
Yeah.
not. But then you think about it, if he doesn't score that much, do they win this game? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Is it 2-2 instead of 3-1, and you just know you need one more instead of playing a best 2 out of 3 now. So this is where all of that comes in, and another part of where we just talk about the depth and how deep and just how talented this Denver Nuggets team is. The fact that really without their two best players,
Mm-hmm.
they still find a way to get it done. That hasn't been the case for them for much of the season, even though they've had a successful season. But it's usually just Jokic and
Mm-hmm.
Murray, and then a mix of whatever you can get from your starters in the bench. Then the fact that if you, like you said, if you look at the stat line without looking at the others, and you say, well, how many points did Jokic put up? And you look at his line, you say, well, 23, 12, and 4. You might think it's going back to what happened in game two.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the fact that, okay, Aaron Gordon pretty much just had like, the playoff game of his life where to really where it seemed like he just, he saw one go in and the confidence was like through
Yep.
the roof. He really couldn't miss too much, like, which happens to, a lot of guys that's in the league, man. Once they see one go in, a barrage can
Yep.
come. They feel a whole lot better than struggling all night to trying to see what's going on. Man, on the Miami side, it, I don't think the shots or the quality of the shots are bad. They're just not
Yeah.
falling. I mean, we talked about it in the last episode. A guy that I was looking at was going to be Gabe Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great first 2 games in a can't remember exactly how his game 3 was, but last night in game 4 only 2 points. So he struggled. Struess went scoreless
Mm-hmm.
again. So he's inconsistent being up and down, and that's gonna be hard to overcome against a team like Denver, just because if they can get the others involved, which like we always talked about, it could be anybody. Last night, like obviously last night it was Aaron Gordon and Bruce
Mm-hmm.
Brown. Other nights it could be KCP, it could be Michael Porter Jr. Uh, I mean, even at times in Spurs it could be Christian Braun. Jeff Green had a couple of, I mean, it's just they got the guys, man. They can come at you in ways like we always mentioned. So it's hard to try to keep up with that and replicate that if you're not making shots on the other side. Is it? But is it more so that Miami just can't make the shots, or is it a mix of them not making the shots and just the fact that, which everybody kind of knows, that Denver is just a better team?
Yeah, I think it goes without saying with Denver being the better team. I think everybody knows that. I think they're just not hitting. It's just not hitting, and that's been the difference between the regular season and the postseason for the Heat. Is that in the regular season they were not hitting shots, and in the postseason they were going crazy from 3 point range, and now they've grown cold. Um, Ironically, they've grown cold from the 3 point line here in these NBA finals. Um, you had the game 2 with Max Strus. He came out blazing. Um, he was four or seven in that first quarter. Had 12 points. I was at game 1. He was 0 for 9, 0 for 10 from the field. Game 3 was kind of up and down, and then you can't have him go 0 for 4. And he only played 19 minutes. So Coach Spo was like, yeah, okay, he's missing. Like I can't play you if you're not hitting shots. Like we have to be able to hit shots in this series even more than ever because of the way that Denver can score. And that's why I said what I said, where it's because of how Denver can score and the fact that Jokic had foul trouble and Murray only had 15, and you still lose that basketball game. That 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 like for me, it would be a gut punch because, like I said, everything looks to have been going in the Heat's direction at least last night, as far as all the outside factors. But you got to be able to hit the shots, and I think that's just the biggest. That's the biggest difference. Yeah, Denver is a better team. I think Denver is playing good defense as well. They played some good. There was some key moments in that fourth quarter. KCP had a couple good defensive plays. Had a steal, a block, like I mentioned earlier, Aaron Gordon, things like that. Um, but when you're hitting shots, it makes everything easier. When you're missing, you got to work a little harder. And with Denver's length, driving to the basket has not been easy for the Miami Heat. So to combat that, you got to be able to hit perimeter shots, and they're just not knocking them down. So I don't know how there's I don't know how much more that Eric Spoelstra can really do. Like the shots I got to start falling. Once they start falling, it'll be all right, but they got to start falling at some point. So
Yeah, I think that's the toughest thing about it. It's just the fact that they can't get the shots to fall right now, and it's happening at the worst time for it to happen.
mhm.
But I mean, that's like you said, that's been a thing that they struggle with all throughout the regular season, and then just all of a sudden, they got hot throughout this playoff run, and now it seems like it's just kind of reverting back to what they dealt
Mhm.
with within the regular season. So now with everything shifting back to Denver for Game 5, and the fact that Denver comes out and takes both games in Miami, um, where does where does the Heat go from here to keep their season alive? I mean, they got the game 2 victory in
Mhm.
Denver, so it's not like that it's extremely impossible to not win there. But the fact that that Monday night, man, the home crowd's gonna be rocking. They know like this could be the night. They probably getting ready to set up parameters there
Mhm.
for the parade to come, and and the champagne gonna be in the back somewhere. The trophy
in
is
the
gonna be in the
building. Yeah.
building, like everything, man. So it's just like, what is it that can Miami do just to extend their season, man? Because and then honestly, if you think about it, if they don't have that big fourth quarter in game two,
Hmm.
it might have been over. Last night this could have been a sweep, but what can Miami do to at least just to get one more game to keep their season alive?
Do what they've been doing. They don't give up. They play hard. That's not going to change. I think, and also they're going to have the confidence to go in there and win because, like you mentioned, they won game two in that building. They won on the road throughout the playoffs. Then throughout the entire playoffs. So continue to do what they do. I think the big thing, obviously, is well, as I mentioned, you got to be able to hit your shots. You got to be able to hit your shots because it's going to be rocking in Denver. And like you said, there's going to be, in my opinion, I think there might be more pressure on Denver Monday night than Miami for all the points that you mentioned. You're at home, the trophy's going to be there, the fans are going to be ready. Like, you want to be able to celebrate on your home floor. The only person on that team that's won a title is KCP. That was back in the bubble. That was back in the bubble, so there wasn't a home court type of feeling and everything. You were playing, you were playing in front of nobody. So that level of intensity that's going to be the building, that pressure that could mount the feeling that I want to be able to win it and hoist that trophy in front of our home fans. How does Denver combat that? But Miami's got to go in there. They got to play solid defense, and they have to hit shots. That was the difference in that game too. In that fourth quarter, Duncan Robinson came out, helped them get to that 10-0 run, and they kept hitting shots and hitting shots and hitting shots. They were playing good defense and hitting shots. Jamal Murray's going to play better than what he did last night. He's going to play better. You can't bank on Jokic being in foul trouble on Monday night either. So you got to believe that Jokic and Murray are going to do everything in their power to make sure that this series is over on Monday night. So Bam and Jimmy have to come with it. And they need Max Strus. They need Gabe Vincent. They need Duncan Robinson. They need those guys to hit shots. Kyle Lowry coming off the bench to give them something. They need those guys to come in and hit shots and help get this crowd. If they can get the crowd out of the game, that'll bode well for the Heat. But you got to anticipate that Jamal Murray and Jokic are going to come out with their hair on fire. So their two stars, the Heat, Bam and Jimmy, have to come out ready to rock and roll, and they got to hit perimeter shots. They got to hit perimeter. If they don't hit perimeter shots, this is over. This is over on Monday.
It's a done
Yeah.
deal. Yeah, I, I'm right there with you though. I do, which I was gonna kind of get into that, but I do really think that even though with Denver being up 3-1, that pressure is on them just because that that last bro that last game is so hard
Mm-hmm.
to win, bro. If it was so easy to win, if it was so easy to win four in a row, everybody would do it,
Mm-hmm.
man. But it's not a thing. Like even Denver knows. Like when they were trying to get that game for a win in LA in the Western Conference Final, that came down to a
Yeah.
possession. So it's it's not easy trying to get that closeout victory, man. No matter whether it's 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, and then especially if it's game seven,
Mm-hmm.
you never really know how the mental of a player is going, and how big of this moment is it for him, and everything like that. And like you said, really, in all honesty, there's really nobody on that Nuggets roster who's had to really seriously deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
outside of KCP. But like you said, that was in Orlando, in the bubble. So this is obviously a different feel. And, Miami has guys like Kyle Lowry and Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Love, who they've been in those moments to deal with what's going on within the finals. But those guys aren't spring chickens
Yeah.
anymore, man. They're a little long in the tooth, so you're just trying to get whatever you can get up out of them. But the pressure is definitely on Denver, but I just think Miami definitely has to come in just pretty much kind of loose. Just gotta come out swinging, let it all happen. Nobody thought they would be here
Mm-hmm.
anyway. They made their run. How much does it kind of I don't want to say suck, but I guess unfortunate that Tyler Hero pretty much kind of had a setback with the hand injury, still dealing with the swelling from
Mm-hmm.
it. Because I know a lot of people were trying to, be devil's advocate on it and to say that, well, if he comes in, that's going to mess up the flow and the chemistry of the team and the guys don't know their roles. But I know it's an injury, it's a broken hand. We're talking about on his shooting hand, so I know that's a lot to deal with. But we talking about a guy who they paid good
Yeah.
money for to be that pretty much that third option with Jimmy and Bam. That could have been very much helpful and needed. How unfortunate, and we didn't even mention Victor
Yeah.
Oladipo. So the fact that they just
Yeah.
just down on guys like that. How and injuries happen. That's nothing that you really can't control. It's gonna be like that wherever you are, whatever league, NHL,
Mm-hmm.
MLB, NBA, NFL, all of that is gonna happen. But I guess it just sucks that that there's never because I seen somebody post and say like, man, I don't remember the last time I seen an NBA Finals where both teams came in like fully healthy, and I can't
Yeah.
really I can't really
Man,
think of one
that's
either.
hard. That's hard to do. That's hard to do.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure either, but it just
It's tough. Now, people say that, but the way the series has been going, and knowing that you're playing Denver, you need every score that you can get. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't think that Tyler Hero coming in. One, I don't think he would come in and start right off the gate. Um, but also two, I don't think that people would be or the Heat would be opposed to him playing. Like I don't. You need another scorer. You need another scorer, and that's a guy who can put the ball in the basket, and that's what you need in basketball in general. But in this particular series, you need that. Like that's exactly what you need. So he definitely would have been helpful. Unfortunate that he had the setback and couldn't get back. Who knows? Who knows what this series would look like if Tyler Hero was playing? Because who would be checking him? I think he'd be able to create his own shot. Obviously, get to the basket. Um, obviously, shoot the J. But you need all the scoring that you can get in this particular series, and so that's a big loss. I totally forgot about Victor Oladipo being hurt as well. You're talking about a two-way guy. He's dealt with injuries his whole career, but you're talking about a two-way guy, a guy who can shoot as well and play good defense. He can play solid defense. That's another guy that they could throw at Jamal Murray, um, or even Bruce Brown match up with him as well. So yeah, it's those injuries are rough. They're rough on the Heat right now. You're missing at least Hero that could give you at least, I would say, at least 20 a night. I feel like he could get you at least 20 a night, 19 to 20. So that's unfortunate, but they've made it to this point without him. So we figure, okay, we made it here without him. We got to figure it out without him as well. It's not a thing of he was playing and then he got hurt and now everything is crumbling down. Like, nah, we got to this point without Tyler Hero, so we got to figure it out ourselves because he ain't coming back. And if we don't win on Monday, we're not going to give him a chance to maybe come back if that's even in the cards. So I don't know. It hurts, but you gotta get it, and you gotta figure it out without him.
Yeah, most definitely. It sucks that that he can't really participate like that. But they like you said, they did make the run
Mm-hmm.
without him. And now just when they get ready here for Monday, man, they just have to come out swinging. There's really
Mm-hmm.
no ifs ands or buts about it. Now on Denver side of it, they've the franchise have had their fair shares of you know getting into the playoffs and making a couple runs here and there, but not necessarily being able to get that
Hmm.
championship. So this will be the first one in franchise history if they're able to get it on Monday. Um, and the league is led by duos. I think if you pretty much if you have a duo that puts you in that different upper
Hmm.
echelon of championship contenders or where you rank in the league and everything like that. This duo of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray has had a hell of a, especially this playoffs, a hell of a playoff
Hmm.
run. The fact that we see these two together here, if the deal gets done on Monday, Nuggets win Game 5, and they win it 4-1. They're hosting up the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and then there's the talks that's gonna come. Right now, where do you even rank them amongst like the duos in the NBA now? And then where would you put them after this championship? I mean, because you obviously you got Clay and
Hmm.
Steph. They're a lot to handle, and they're both healthy. Um, Even though a lot of people give him flack for how much it doesn't take for him to get hurt, but when healthy, you still got
Yeah,
LeBron and AD.
I'm one of those
Uh,
people.
I mean, Tatum and
Yeah.
Brown. I mean, there's so many other different duos, man. Where do you have Jokic and Murray at now? And does this championship elevate them, or does it kind of just they kind of stay put where they are, or do you separate them compared to some other ones, and then like who do you like compare them with as far as like their rank of duos in the NBA?
So what would I rank them right now and then after if they were to win the championship?
Yeah,
Right now, I mean, they're one of the top duos in the league. I would probably say, I mean, I would say they're top five for sure, duo wise. Um, they win a championship this year. I would have to say they're number one. Um, they we've seen what it looks like when it's just Jokic and Murray is hurt. We've seen what that looks like. And in the bubble, we saw what it looked like when they were together. And now we've been able to see it again now in the finals, what they look like when they're together, and especially for a full season. They're tough to handle. They are tough to handle. If they were to win the championship, regardless if it's Monday night or, whenever the series is over, it would be hard for me to argue that they're not the best duo in the league. I would put them over. Um, I would put them over Stephen Clay, obviously. Um, just injuries and stuff with the injuries that's happened with Clay, and then just the way the season kind of ended. Clay just really wasn't playing well. That hurts for me to say because I'm a big Clay Thompson fan, but really didn't have his put his best foot forward this postseason. I believe he'll get better, but that's that. Um, Tatum and Brown, I'm not giving it to them as erratic as they play, as the Celtics play. You're the two leaders of that team now. They're young, just like Jokic and Murray are, but they're too up and down for me. And then AD is hurt too much. Bottom line, AD is hurt too much. There's other guys too. You got Devin Booker and KD, but they didn't play a full season together, so we'll see what that looks like. Um, as you would say, it would be the Greek Freak and Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton got hurt, was hurt, and then obviously Giannis got hurt in that first round against Miami. So that's a separate subject as well. Um, but Jokic and Murray, that two-man game with Jokic and Murray is tough to beat. And part of what makes them so good is their other teammates. That's part of what makes them so good because they allow them to space the floor and run that two-man pick and roll, run that two-man game, and allow them to operate in the middle of the floor, down in the paint. Um, and like I said, I believe on the last episode, Jokic is a lot to handle by himself, but when Murray is on, it's 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 on it's almost impossible. It seems like it's almost impossible to beat them when Murray is rolling too. When he's going to, it's tough. It's tough. So I would definitely say, if they were to win the championship, they'll be the top duo in the league. And I don't know, even going into next year, I don't know unless maybe Philly was able to get a guard to come. There's been a lot of talks about Dame Lillard. Where if the Trailblazers want to make a move, where does he end up? I don't know if Philly is one of those places, but unless like maybe Dame was to go to Philly or something like that, maybe you have another duo. Maybe it is D Book and KD when they play a full season together. But right now at this moment in time, it's Jokic and it's Murray because they beat KD and Book. They beat LeBron and AD. They didn't get to play Steph and Clay, but they beat two of the duos that we named, and then Tatum and Brown couldn't get there. So I would say they're the top duo in the league.
Yeah, for me, I had them top three
Okay.
already. Just and I may be throwing in the body of work of the
Yeah.
other two or whatever, and I have them over Book and KD just because they just got
Mm-hmm.
together, and we don't know yet, and that's there. And then, I mean, you can't forget about Middleton and Giannis. Those are the guys up there for sure. Um, but I'm right there with you. I don't see if they win this. I don't see how you can make an argument really for anybody else being the
Mm-hmm.
number one duo besides them. Bruh, I mean that they can run that high screen and roll all night, bruh, and it's just
They score off of it
I
all the
don't know.
time.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with it. I mean, the only thing you can do is just hope that one of them miss
Yeah.
or they do something crazy where they just turn the ball over or something. Because I mean, you get you just get caught in the predicament to where, all right, well, do you keep helping to make sure Murray doesn't drive to the
Mm-hmm.
basket? Well, then Jokic is capable enough to pop out and hit that 15 footer or step back and even hit a 25 footer from three. So he's capable of doing that. Then it's like, okay, well, if you want to make sure that Jokic don't get it back up there at the top of the screen or I mean top of the key or up at the up at the elbow,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Well, now you give the chance for Murray to, drive to the basket or to pull up for a floater or a
Mm-hmm.
mid range. I mean, it's just the the possibilities there for them are just endless, and it's hard to guard because they're both capable of doing really whatever they want to
Yeah.
do with the basketball. So it's not like on certain high screening roles or screener pick and rolls where guys are moving in. You're like, okay, well, we'll live with you taking this shot, or we'll live with you
Yeah.
you know, going to the basket for this and this because it's just that's gonna be hard to really just to say to settle with anything. I mean, because it can be just automatic, and then the fact that if you do switch trapping and everything like that, they got the guys out there capable enough to knock down the
Mm-hmm.
shots for them. So then it's like, okay, well, even if they not scoring, if you look up and they both, I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Jamal Murray has at least 8, 10 assists for each game this
Something like
series.
that.
I think he's been in double. I think he's been in double digits for assists this whole playoff series. So I mean, it's just it's I don't want to use the word unguardable, but it's pretty damn
Yeah.
close to it. Just because they can do it in both ways, and both of them can hurt you with
Mm-hmm.
it. So I mean, I think so definitely. Like I mean, they're up there. They already are in the discussion, but now at this point they would definitely have a solid case of being the number one duo in the league just because they're both available, they're both
Mm-hmm.
healthy, which is why obviously we're taking them over other guys just because of which is kind of the main things that they are lacking,
Yeah.
which is just trying to stay healthy, be available, in how they're playing. So it's the hottest duo in the NBA, man, and like you said, they so young. I don't see it stopping no time
Yeah.
soon. It's just it's gonna be I don't know, man. It's just
But
it's gonna be a lot to
but
handle
that's
here.
the thing. Like when you mentioned looking at body of work. Okay, LeBron and AD, they won one championship together. They've been together however long. They only won one championship. Giannis and Middleton, they've only won one. Now they're younger. They're younger than LeBron and AD, but they've only won one. KD and obviously KD and Book, they haven't even played a full season together, so that's fine. And then you got Tatum and Brown. They've been to the finals. They don't have a championship. Obviously, Steph and Clay, we know they have four, but
Right.
they're
Right.
closer to the end than they are the beginning. And with, like you
Right.
mentioned, with Jokic and Murray being so young, so okay, those other duos have one championship or don't have one at all. So what's the conversation to be had, especially with, like I mentioned, they beat LeBron and they beat KD and Book. Like there's really nothing to talk about in my opinion. Like there's not even a discussion. And with them being so young, they stay together. Like, they'll win another one, at least one more, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, it's to me, it's not really a discussion. Anybody that would argue that LeBron and AD are better, or KD and Book, or whoever, that would be solely based off of the resume of the individual player, not them collectively,
Right.
not them
Together.
collectively,
Right.
because you're looking at the greatness of LeBron with the greatness of AD when he decides to play,
To be great. Yeah.
when
To
he
be great.
decides he ain't gonna get hurt. Another subject for another day. But you looking at that instead of them two together as a combined entity, as a combined duo. So yeah, I don't know. They're the tops they're tops in the
Yeah.
league. They're tops in the league.
Yeah. I don't see how you can really argue against it either. So, I mean, that's. I mean, it's simply put,
Mm-hmm.
they're pretty much like close to damn near unstoppable now. So Monday night, is it over, or does Miami survive to extend it to a game 6?
Man, I picked the Nuggets in six. I picked the Nuggets in six. I just I know, like, I know I'm not wrong in saying that the Heat are going to play hard, that they're going to show up. I have almost no doubt that they're going to be ready to play. Can you hit the shots though? Can you hit the shots? Can you survive that first storm from tip off? When that ball tips off, Denver is going to come out. It's going to be like it might get ugly early, because Denver's going to come out and they're going to be on the attack early in this basketball game. Can Miami survive that storm and then get into the flow of the game? I would love to see them extended. I just don't know. They just have not. I'm gonna say it's over. I think it's over on Monday. Trying to talk myself into picking the Heat. I think it's over on Monday. Like I said earlier, they have the confidence to go in there and win because they've done it before. But if they don't hit their shots, it's not going to happen. And in this series, their shooting has been so inconsistent to where they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to take advantage of that. They're able to score in so many different ways. If the Heat can't hit perimeter shots, if they can hit the three ball, it's a wrap. But I think that energy in the arena, I think the energy from the fans, um, obviously the energy from the players as well. I think Mike Malone is going to stress to them the importance of finishing this game at home on Monday. You do not want to go back to Miami for a game 6. That's not what you want to do. So I think he's going to stress that to his guys. And I think the Nuggets get it done and win their first NBA championship on Monday night.
I'm right there with you. I took my original pick was Denver in 6 as well because I just felt like that Miami would be just capable enough to push it to 6 to
Mm-hmm.
get 2 off of Denver. I just think now I think Game 4 hurt him. Like it hurt him just the fact that it wasn't a big time Jokic or Murray game, and each time like you mentioned, each time that they cut that lead down and got it to in close range, Denver will pull back out and bring it back to 10, 11,
Mm-hmm.
12, and and it was just end up proving to be too much. So I think it's over after Monday night too. I think Denver go ahead and take care of business. Um, Kind of just because even though they're down like this right now, I wouldn't want to play around with
Mm-hmm.
Miami like that and let them hang
No.
around. That's just. I mean, you've seen it when they get the confidence to hang around like that, man. That they can pretty much beat any team in the league. So the emphasis on it to get it done Monday night is definitely gonna be there. Mike Malone is definitely gonna let his guys know, like, look, man, let's end it here
Mm-hmm.
in front of the home crowd. Let's get ready and finish this thing and celebrate. Let's become world champs, and that way we don't have to worry about at least for the next couple of months here. Having to travel
Yeah.
anywhere and get this together and everything like that. They can just get ready and do what they got to do, and then everybody can get ready for the summer, man. I think Denver go ahead and take care of business and wins it and get the gentleman sweep. Um, I wouldn't be shocked if Miami found a
Yeah.
way. I wouldn't be shocked. I think the fact that they couldn't get one in
Yeah.
down at home to get it. That that's gonna be hard to try to win 3 straight. And obviously, when it's been 3-1 in the finals, no one has ever came back from 3-1 in the finals outside of that 2016 run with the Cavaliers coming back from 3-1 against the
Mm-hmm.
Warriors. And no disrespect to Jimmy Butler or anybody else, ain't none of them LeBron James. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, unless they can get him walking through there, man, I don't think it can be done. Um, I think it'll be close.
Okay.
I don't think Miami will lay down. I think it'll end up being close. But I think in the end it'll be it's gonna be too much Denver, man. They're too much for Miami at this point. And the fact that which has been the kind of the thing that we talked about this whole episode, the fact that just the Heat can't get the consistent shooting that they need from the
Mm-hmm.
guys who've led them up to this point, man, it's just not good. I mean, they gotta get more from their guys and I think they'll come back and rebound and have a good game. But I just think in the end, like you mentioned, I don't think there's no way that Jamal Murray comes out on Monday night and only have a 15
Yeah.
point game. I don't think Jokic will find his way to get in that foul trouble like that. You may not see a 27 point game from Aaron Gordon, but he can still get you for 10 to
Mm-hmm.
15 that could make a difference. I mean, we just really just never know, man. So I just think in the end it's gonna be too much of the Denver Nuggets firepower. They go ahead and get it done, and the series is over, the season is over, and they get it and go ahead and host up the
Yeah.
trophy, man. Man, that's what's going on the court in the NBA. But the league is still making a lot of noise off the court as well. Um, as far as really when we get ready here after the season is
Mm-hmm.
done, after the finals is done, you get ready to head into free agency and the draft is coming up. But man, big news for some of these highly talented, NBA players who are going to be future Hall of Famers. So we know about James Harden, now desires of wanting to be a free agent, wanting to test the free agent market. So it doesn't look like he'll be returning to Philly. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
see. Not sure. Um, and then the Phoenix Suns earlier this week waiving Chris Paul. So Chris Paul no longer with the Phoenix Suns. So that kind of lets you know where they're heading with that now. Um, what do you think is? We'll start with Chris Paul. What is his market, bro? Like, I mean, this. I mean, you got a guy here who's been in the league since what 2006, or 2005,
Hmm.
2006. So he's been in the league for a very long time. I think he's what 36,
Somewhere in
37,
there.
something like that. Or is he that
He
old?
about
Is he
yeah,
that old?
probably about 30.
I mean, he's in his. I know he's in his
Yeah,
30s. I know he's in his 30s, but you know, has the time to where he's capable enough to get you, those mid range buckets and get those 6 to 8 assists a night. But you can definitely tell there's a slight decline in his game. What is his market like? Who's out there to where? And obviously, it's got to be a contending team. I know he doesn't want
yeah,
to go nowhere where you have to rebuild, but is it? Does he go back? Does he goes over to the Eastern Conference? Like, is anybody there? Or does he stay West? And it's I don't know. To me, it's hard to gauge because it's kind of like I think he still has something left
yeah,
in him, but it's just it has to be somewhere to where I don't think they're trying to work 30 plus minutes off him or anything like that.
yeah. It's. I think he still has some basketball left in the tank. I don't think he's done. Um, it's the same thing with him. Just the injuries at the most inopportune times for Chris Paul, where that have just played his career. Um, I don't know, man. I mean, my first thought is, does he go to LA and maybe join the Lakers? Maybe just to get a veteran point guard there. Like I said, I don't think he would have to go in there. Obviously, with them having Austin Reeves, he don't have to go in there and play 30 plus minutes a night, 36 minutes a night, or anything like that. But just to get a veteran guy in there, um, maybe not. Maybe depends on what they do with D'Angelo Russell, if they decide to hold on to him or not. I thought he might have. They were probably going to stick around and keep him in Phoenix. Um, I mean, in the East, I don't. I don't. I mean, even in the East, I don't know. I really don't know what his market is, man. I don't know. Like you said, obviously you want to play on a contending team, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Like maybe, and this probably a long shot. Maybe Boston. I know they continue to talk about maybe getting another point guard in there, a veteran guy in the locker room at point. Definitely would help Joe Mazzulla and help those young guys out for sure. Wouldn't have to play a lot of minutes there as well. Um, I don't know because there aren't, in my opinion, there aren't a lot of teams that are true contenders that are in need of a point guard. It's more of what you said. If he would be willing to do what Kyle Lowry is doing, I think there'd be plenty of teams
Right,
that that would take Chris
right,
Paul. If he was willing to jump into that role that Kyle Lowry is taking, where he's playing what 15, 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes a game, playing with that second unit, giving a spark, helping lead those guys. I think there'd be plenty of teams that would take him. Plenty of teams. I think really just depends on whether or not he's looking to be the man and be the starting point guard, which is hard to say because it's just like anybody else. I remember the whole thing with Carmelo. When Carmelo kind of got to this point, it was like, man, like Carmelo's coming off the bench, like, and at least for me, I'm Carmelo Anthony fan, excuse me, and like, dang, like they have Melo coming off the bench, man. Like I don't kind of disrespectful, man. Like that's Carmelo Anthony, but it's like,
right, right,
hey, look, man, like you're not. This is not 26-year-old Carmelo Anthony. This is
right.
not the New Orleans Hornets. Chris Paul. This is not the same guy. So, um, if he'd be willing to take a lesser role, do what Kyle Lowry is doing right now, I think there'd be plenty of teams in that market that would take him. But I think really his market depends on him and what he wants to do um, and how he wants to help contribute to a contending team. Like I said, I think most contending teams in the NBA right now have a solid point guard.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Really, with Chris Paul, like if there's just like a main destination
Hmm.
for him. I mean, the talks is for sure probably L.A. just because if it wasn't for the veto of David Stern with the trade, he would have been a Laker instead of a
And he
Clipper.
might have a
You
championship.
know, so right, and might have a championship. So who knows? But I mean, I believe the Lakers are letting D'Angelo Russell walk.
Okay.
So the spot is that's there. Um, I think it's a long shot, and I don't think it should be on the radar. But I guess at the same time, you could put it on there. Memphis, just because you don't know about the Ja Morant situation.
Yeah.
Um, there Tyus Jones is there, so obviously I think that they would probably
Mm,
be okay with that. But I mean, at the same time, would you be opposed to having, you know, a veteran guy like that on their team? Because I mean, outside of probably Steven Adams, I don't know who else is like that veteran
yeah.
guy on that team. Because that team down there in Memphis is fairly young. So, and whether you like it or not, that's one of the better teams in the West. I mean, so that's that. Um, does him in LA make them any better? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because there's gonna be Denver. I'm still putting probably Golden State over them as well, even though they
Hmm.
struggled. There's Phoenix. I mean, you still kind of got to throw in Memphis. I don't know if Dallas can get that act together with what's going on down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. So does it really make a difference if he is down there with the Lakers? I'm not sure, but like you said, it really just all just boils down to what does Chris Paul want to do? Like, is he trying to go somewhere where he's like, look, I need to be the starter. I need my 28 to 30
Hmm.
minutes. I want to be the guy. Well, are there many teams out there like that for you to do that? And can you lead them to a championship? Because at this point, that's the only thing he's missing. I mean, he's a one of the more decorative point guards, one of your really probably last of a dying breed point
Yeah.
guards who's just kind of more so of a playmaker slash facilitator and not a scoring guard, which is kind of what the league is kind of translating to here now. But does he want to do that, or is he okay with, like you said, just kind of playing the Kyle Lowry role to where you know let's have you come in with the second group of guys
Hmm.
and be that spark for them, and we can mix you in sometime with the starters to where we can have this kind of a lineup to where it can it can work in your favor. So I just think it does boil down to what does he want to do, like what is his market there for? Because it's tough to see for him,
Hmm.
for me to see like what's there. Like I can't. Like we are listing teams, but we're not even saying like that's a slam dunk. We're not like, oh, it's LA or
Yeah.
bust, or it's this team or bust. Like we really don't know because it's just it's all dependent on who wants him. What does he want? Is he trying to get a certain amount of money on a contract, or is he just trying to find the right fit and they can go from there? I don't know. But on the other side, you got James Harden, right? So obviously he wants to test free
Yeah.
agency. That's the word that's coming out. To me, that sounds like that he wants to get paid. Who is going to be willing to pay him the money that he wants to pay him?
Houston. Back.
So
Going back.
that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. He wanted to run it back with Houston.
I mean, think about it. You go to Houston, you got some young guns there. Not saying they're a contender, but you got some young guns there. Ime Udoka is the coach now. Got some of their staff going down there from the Boston Celtics. Not saying they're gonna make the playoffs or anything, but pretty sure Houston would pay him. Outside of that, I don't know. I don't know who will be willing to pay him. It's it. James Harden is a very good basketball player. James Harden is going to be a Hall of Famer. James Harden is one of the best scorers that we've seen in our lifetime. James Harden finds a way to show up small in the playoffs when you need him. It just is what it is. And so
Those are the facts. Yeah.
and so it's like you wanna like someone of his caliber, you wanna be able to pay him and you think that he still has it's crazy because it's not like James Harden is crazy old either. Like the drop off that James Harden had, I don't know if I think as it was going on, we talked about it a lot, but people really didn't talk about like James Harden damn near fell off a cliff from the time he left. What was it? Might be Houston. We left from Houston to go to Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
From when he got like he gained all that weight, he stopped playing in Houston, gets to Brooklyn. He was not the same. He was not the same basketball player. He kind of got back in shape and he got better, but he still wasn't the same guy. He just lost the step. It seems like whatever it like he just has lost the step over these last couple of years and this past this year's playoffs they're playing excuse me they're playing the Celtics and when they need him he doesn't show up. He showed up in game two and then was a no show in the next game, then shows up again and it's a no show again. It's like you just need him when you need him the most. He hasn't been able to show up. So I don't know if he's gonna maybe outside of Houston. I don't know if he's gonna go anywhere and get the money that he's looking to potentially get. Once again, I think kind of the same thing with Chris Paul. I think it comes down to maybe not so much his role. I think James Harden is still a starter in the NBA, but does he want to contend or is he worried about getting his money? Which one is it? Do you want to compete for a championship or do you want to just go get your money? If you go get your money, you can go anywhere. If you want to go get your money, you can go anywhere. But if you're trying to contend for a championship, I think those options are going to be limited, especially when it comes down to the money piece. So it's up to him. I truly don't know what his market looks like because if I'm a GM, I'm seriously questioning what is he going to give us when it comes to playoff time because he has not shown up big in the playoffs. Really, I mean, man, I mean, really, even going back to OKC, man,
Ever,
like
ever.
that final.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, you
mean,
you talking about that finals, OKC and the Heat,
ooh,
like
he was
you
almost
like
non-existent,
you
bro.
needed. People forget like OKC won game one. I know. Trust me,
Yeah.
I know. Like
Yeah.
they won game
Yeah.
one, and obviously the Heat did their thing, but James Harden was that key piece, and he just did not show up at all throughout that series. Then he goes to Houston. You have the lead against Golden State, and it was just him that couldn't hit shots, and then Chris Paul gets hurt. But James Harden, you're the guy on that basketball team. You don't show up, and so on and so forth. You get to Brooklyn, and he was battling the hamstring, was back and forth for hurt. So it's just like it's. I don't know if I'm a contending team. He's not getting the super max. We had to sit down across from each other and talk about the money and everything, but it comes down to whether he wants to be on a contending team or if he just wants to get paid. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what he has in store for him either, man. Just because I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he should honestly should try to run it back and stay there in Philly, but
that's how I feel as well. That's how I feel as well.
I think he should stay there in Philly, but I don't know if he wants to because I mean unless Daryl Morey is going to pay him what he wants to pay him with, but then it's like you said, man. So many times is year in and year out when we get to April and
Mm-hmm.
May, he just fizzles out, bruh. So I'm like, are you really wanting to pay a guy who just year in and year out just disappoints you every time we're getting ready for a big game in the playoffs? Like
Yeah.
every time. It hasn't been a time where it's kind of like he has a great
Yeah.
game and then it's just like, all right, at least he had a great game and maybe the others let him down. Like, nah, he's been a part of that
Mm-hmm.
with them, a part of the letdown. So it's just, man, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with that, but obviously his name is gonna be big in the free agency. I'm assuming that I don't know how long it takes for them for waivers to clear in the NBA, but I'm assuming that the waiver list probably would clear for Chris Paul for him to end up being a free agent. So I
Okay.
guess maybe name wise, those guys are going to be the two top. I guess as far as name wise, free agents. Because I'm honestly, I'm not really sure about even who's all going to be free agents like that in this upcoming summer. So we'll
Yeah.
see. And then obviously there's the rumors and talks going around with Dame and if he's going to be in Portland, and that's a whole nother.
He's not a free agent, but and I know Dame is loyal. We don't have to get into it too much, but I gotta say this:
Yeah.
Portland needs to go ahead and just let the man go, man. Just let him go. Let him go. Like rebuild. Let Dame go. Please, just let him go because y'all are holding that man hostage. He signed the extension. He signed the deal, so that's on him. But what moves are you going to make? You didn't get the number one. You didn't get the number one pick. What moves are you going to make to be a contender in the West right now at this point with Denver, Phoenix, the Lakers, Golden State, Dallas, Memphis, the Sacramento Kings, uh, the Timberwolves? Like, what are you? How are you getting in the mix there? So please let Dame Dollar go.
OKC with a whole bunch of picks they got. I mean,
What are you going to do?
it's a list of
So
teams.
please,
I
please,
mean,
please let him go. That's I've had to, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see. But that's all right there for us. Like serious basketball talk,
oh man,
man. Off the court though,
nah, that
boy,
ain't my
man,
boy.
Zion Williamson, man.
Nah, that ain't my boy.
Our boy Zion, man, is has been in the headlines a lot this past week. And at first it started out okay, obviously, there's the picture floating around with him and and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I really just don't even know their names of who the name of who the baby mother is, man. But so I'm not even
Yeah,
trying to be
I don't
disrespectful. I
know that.
just
Yeah,
really don't know. The picture surfaced and everybody's like, man, congratulations, because we remember the last time we saw Zion with a female, she was of another color.
yeah,
So everybody was
I
like,
don't know
"Oh
about that.
man, Zion to beat the milk allegations. Like he good, okay? So he know what's going on." And then here is this other chick, I think Mariah Mills or something like that, whatever. I think that's the name. Like I said, I really don't. I pay attention, but I don't pay
Mm,
attention to this stuff, man. But just, I mean, just a rally of tweets. You would have thought she was running a telethon or
boy,
something for Zion, bro.
boy,
Just just a ton of tweets just about all the stuff that he said that he was gonna do and have her move to New Orleans and all this stuff like that. And all of a sudden now there's this kid, and now everybody is just like, this is why Zion can't get back on the basketball court. He
that
too
boy,
busy dropping off money and laying up with you folks, man.
that boy busy.
Man,
That boy busy. I don't know, man. Like, it's like I told you earlier. I, I, I just got on Twitter one day and people were, Zion's all over my feed. I'm like, what's going on now? Like, it's like I'm thinking it's something like you get hurt again, or something, along those lines. And then you see see everything going on. But then when I saw Stephen A. say something about him, okay, I got to look up and see what's going on. And then I see the tweet that last name Mills. I see the tweet that she put out. I'm like, oh, that's not good. that's not that's not good. I don't know what the boy. I don't. Man, look. I've said it before. I've said it before. I didn't think Zion was all that. I've argued with people saying that I don't think Zion is all that. Um, and the injuries have plagued him. The Pelicans could be the Pelicans could be in that conversation of one of the teams in the West if
Oh
he
yeah,
was
yeah,
healthy. But it seems like he's been,
yeah.
like you said, a little preoccupied with telling people to move down to the bayou and this and that, and now he's got all this going on. Like Zion, you might want to go to the gym and just stay in the gym. Like leave everything else alone. Just sit down in the gym, my boy. Because this right here, this ain't it. You, you, you making press for the wrong reasons, my guy. You got CJ McCollum sitting up on first take, and he just sitting
Hey,
there like,
what you want me to say?
I ain't got nothing. You better
You
hope
know,
Stephen A. don't
right?
ask no
What you want
questions
me to
because
say?
I can't help you out, my guy. I can't help you. I see CJ McCollum on first take twice, and I'm just like, with all this going on, like, yeah, CJ, you might want to stop making appearances, my guy. I don't know if this is the right time to be a New Orleans Pelican. So he's what you do is what you do. Your business is your business. You gotta be careful. This goes back to you gotta be careful with who you lay down with, dog. You gotta be
Man, at
careful
the end of
because
the
you
day,
never know. You never know. She's putting a lot out there. She's put a lot out there. You gotta be careful with who you lay down with, man. You have to. Please check the Carfax. Please.
bruh, bruh, it's just like what I've been saying, what I've been telling some folks when we talk about this, bruh. Am I surprised at all of this kind of going on? Yes, but no, because let's just be honest, bruh. We've seen some of the outfits this man be putting on when he on the sidelines. Like, bruh, I'm seeing it and I'm like, man, ain't nothing P about Zion, bruh. He is not. I'm like, he is not moving right. I just know the minute somebody throw anything at this man, he going for it. He making it look too easy. He making it look too easy, dog. I'm like, hey, bro, you gotta have some P somewhere in you, bro. Some type of P in you, bro. Like,
He
there is
making it
no
look too
way
easy.
you, bro. I'm saying there's no way you, bro. There's no way he got a type
Yeah.
for sure, cause they both built the
Mm,
same way, bro. The 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 BBL is in effect. I'm like, this is
yeah.
just it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I'm like, bro, he got a type, man. So I don't know. I peeped what the Pelicans tried to do on their social media though with the little
I
PR
didn't
move,
see.
him having donating the little
Oh
money.
man.
I think it was like
Oh
two
yeah.
hundred
Yeah.
fifty
Yeah. Yeah.
thousand dollars to was that to a
Yeah.
boys and
Yeah.
girls
Yeah.
club or
Trying
something
to
like that, man. I'm like,
throw off the
okay,
scent on this trail. Nah,
I
bro.
see what y'all
Nah.
trying to I see what y'all
Nah.
trying to do, but
Them
it ain't really
bloodhounds
working,
still on that.
bro.
They still hot on that trail. My God. that that
It
little
ain't
two hundred
working,
fifty
bro.
k.
It's
That
not
ain't
working.
enough. We still on his head. People.
Nothing,
Oh, I'm saying yeah.
nothing,
It's bad on
nothing.
Twitter. Twitter. I'm gonna tell you. For anything like that to happen, if you're a celebrity, if anything like that happens, Twitter is the worst place for you to be. Don't you just log off. Just log off Twitter
You getting?
because
I'm
you are
talking
going
about
to
barbecue,
getting cooked. It's
barbecue.
bad. It is bad. It is so bad. Like I hope and pray if I get that big. Please, like, just let it be about the game. It's just gonna be about the game. You can cook me about coaching decisions, whatever it is. I get to that point. You cook me about that. Anything else? Because that's
Yeah,
bad enough. Anything else? It's so rap. It's so rap. they
I'm talking about
people
money.
don't
It's
let
over.
up, and it happens so fast. It happens so fast.
Bro, and it's so bad because like you got him now with this going on, and then obviously what Ja Morant got going on. So now they just clowning the
The whole
whole
class.
that whole cold draft class. Um, RJ Barrett catching strays and he ain't even
And
did nothing.
the nothing to deserve.
I saw I saw a post. I saw a post that shit that said gunshots, back shots, and bad shots. Talking about RJ Barrett, bro. They just RJ Barrett out here catching strays and he ain't even
Doing
did nothing. He probably the most modeled
he
citizen out of the
actually
top three
he
right
actually
now.
played okay throughout the like. He actually didn't play that
Like, bro,
bad. He didn't play that bad. I saw a post, little 30 for 30, like a little preview, 30 for 30. John Zion,
that junk
guns and
wild.
buns.
That junk is wild. That junk right there, wild, bro. I was like,
People
oh,
have no
it's
remorse.
getting
No
off,
remorse,
getting
man.
off.
It's bad.
Don't care,
People have no
bro.
remorse.
They don't
So
care, bro.
I hope Zion can figure it out, get all of that stuff. It'll end eventually, and that stuff will be all good. It's just you just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with who you do and who you do it with. Who you do and who you do it with.
Yeah, for sure. He gotta be more selective, man, and anything like that, and everything. You know, just gotta be more selective, man. So you got that going on, and then finally, I don't know if anybody saw it or if you seen it, but a picture posted on social media with the one aforementioned Ben
Ah,
Simmons apparently back in the gym working, getting the
hmm
workout in and everything like that. Are you buying it, bruh? Like,
Wasn't it a couple summers ago where we got some pictures and videos of Ben Simmons in the gym as well, working, and them saying his jump shot was going to be better.
facts,
Then he came out and he still wasn't shooting the
facts,
ball, and he still wasn't shooting
facts.
better. All right, that's how I feel about it. That's it. I don't show me all the pictures that you want, bro. And I have nothing against Ben. Like, go and work out and do what you're supposed to do what you feel like you need to do. You gotta show it on the court.
Is he really all right? Is he really working out though?
Although I think the picture looked photoshopped to
I'm
me,
just saying,
but I don't
man.
know
That's what I'm saying, man. You know,
because he looked,
folks is
he
creative
looked.
now,
I mean,
bruh.
he looked yoked up on that picture, and I don't. I mean,
For sure.
now granted, I mean, he has some time to get right because he has some time to get right. But to me, even if he is working out, which I wouldn't doubt. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, but you still gotta do it on the basketball court. And as good as he could be, he's not. He's just not. And people question some of his toughness and things like that, but he hasn't shown it on the court yet. So he can be big as Shaq if he want to. If you don't go out there on the court and do nothing about it, it don't matter. He's
It
gonna
don't
be a
matter.
big point guard. That's it. So he might not want to get too big either. He might want to chill out, but slow your roll. But yeah, you know, show it on the basketball court, bro. That's it. You show it on the court, people stop talking about you. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Man, yeah, I ain't really got much to say behind that either. I gotta see it to believe
That's
it
it.
first. That's really all I gotta say on that too. I gotta see it to believe it. Man, as we get ready here to wrap up another episode, man, you got anything you want to say to the people, bruh?
Continue to stay safe. Continue to um, do whatever it is that you do at the highest level. Continue to stay healthy. All those different type of things. Take care of yourself, mentally, physically. All that good stuff. Um, yeah, man. That's really it. Watch who you lay down with. Watch it. Watch it. People are crazy. Real talk. I know we were kind of joking and stuff earlier, but people are crazy, man. For real. Like you got to watch who you. And that's just not about. That's not just in that aspect. Just in general. Like you got to watch who you
Yep.
are hanging around with, who you giving your time to, your energy to. Like, you got to be wary of that stuff because it can drain you, and in the long run, it could affect you um, in a negative way. So, real talk, be careful with who you associating yourself with and hanging out with and all that type of stuff. But um, Zion, outside of that, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, man, same for me, bro. Nothing really changed. Just continue to protect yourselves. Just for sure, be careful out here, man. Always keep those I's dotted, those T's crossed. Man, shout out to everybody who that's listening in, that's been subscribing to, to the podcast, to the YouTube channel. Man, we greatly appreciate that support. Continue to support us. We very much appreciate it. Man, just continue to follow, on the social media, on our Twitter, on our Instagram. Like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Man, love black women, cherish black women, protect black women. No means
No
no.
means no.
It's a summertime out here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and this is for us just because of being in Black Greek letter organizations. I believe it's AGP going on this week.
Yes. So I heard they broke the gate.
Yeah,
And there's been some shooting. Yeah, they wilding down there.
just y'all be careful out there. Man. I'm gonna say
They
y'all be
wilding
careful
down
out
there.
there, man. Just y'all be careful out there, man. Side note, if you've been in, and I mean when I say in, I'm talking about in your respective sorority,
Mm-hmm.
fraternity, and you've been in for at least 5 years or older, stop going to AGP. Why are you there?
They
Why
can't,
are you
they
down?
can't.
Nah, man, let the young guns have it. I don't care if you cross
Not
grad
even
chapter.
like to like I don't know. I don't know what the weekend like. Not even to like the like they like the if they have like some older parties or whatever, like some
If
stuff
all
like
right,
that.
if they got some
Yeah,
older
like some
parties,
up and up stuff
fine.
like that. But you just talk about
Bruh, if you talking about you chilling at you up there at Morris Brown, bruh, chilling
now where they haven't
up
been
there.
before.
I don't know,
I feel like
bro.
if you haven't been before, and if you're going to maybe some 25 and up stuff, I feel like you might be alright. Maybe.
Okay, I'll say this. I'll say this. If you haven't ever been to AGP before, I don't think it
Mm,
hurts for you to go. Just because I do feel like that's one thing on a I would say like on your Greek
yeah,
bucket list to go to. I think if you've never been, then sure. I think at some point you try to
yeah.
go ahead
Now,
and
like for
go.
me, like I haven't been. Do I plan on going? No, but I haven't. But I haven't been. But I don't plan on
Yeah,
going
yeah.
though. So
I went once. I enjoyed
yeah,
myself. I would never go again though.
I feel
I'm
it.
like I never go again. It was just what I'm saying. It's
Now I
just
do feel you.
it can
If
be a
you've been
lot.
there, this is my fourth year. Hey, bro, go go sit down,
Hang it up.
cuz.
Hang it
Go sit
up.
down, cuz.
Hang it up.
Well,
Please.
it's
Please
okay.
hang it
It's
up.
okay. It's
It
okay.
right. Bro, you not missing nothing. You not missing nothing, bro. Like just calm
Chill,
down. You
chill,
know
my
what I
boy,
mean? But
chill.
please chill. But I mean, other than that, man, just for sure protect ourselves out here, man. Like I said, just continue to
Hmm.
support the podcast through however you support it, man. We really appreciate it. And man, I think that's really all I got to say on that, man. So until the next time, man, this has been another episode of the Easy Money Sports Podcast.
Peace.